Hey, everybody, I'm Katie Lance, and welcome back to the podcast. We have a special guest, Kelly Noble Mirabella. She's someone I've known for a long time. We were just chatting before we went live. We feel like we're the OGs. We've been doing this long time. And she is someone I've been friends with on social media for a long time. We've connected in real life at conferences. She's an amazing marketer. So welcome, Kelly.
Thank you. I'm so excited. I'm always excited to do everything with you. We just have good rapport. So it always makes for a fun podcast or educational piece. So, hi, everyone.
So let me formally introduce Kelly. Kelly Noble Mirabella is a social media marketing expert, speaker, and author. We're going to talk about her book today with nearly 2 decades of experience helping business owners grow online. She is the founder of Stellar Media Marketing. She is the co-author of Digital Etiquette for Dummies and AI Chatbots for Dummies, and author of the new book, The No Burnout Batching System, where she shares strategies for creating content consistently without burnout. It's a great book. I read it. I read it. I recommend that you guys read it too. So welcome to the podcast, Kelly.
Hey, thank you so much. You shouldn't introduce me all the time. I'm going to Utah this weekend to speak if you want to be my MC introducer.
Perfect. Just tuck me in your back pocket.
Here you go.
All right, so let's get into it. I wanted to chat with you about the book. And right in the beginning, you open up the book saying, you don't need more hustle, you need a better system. So, what was the moment in your business when you realized working harder wasn't always the answer?
Yeah, I may have shared this in the book. I don't remember how open I was, but I had a couple years where I went back and forth with burnout, where you're like, I'm burned out, but I could get through this. I just need a vacation, or I could get this. I just need to maybe not work one day a week, whatever it is that you try to put a band-aid over it. And then I had a full-blown burnout episode where I had a full freak out on my husband, poor guy. And we got into this argument over something stupid, but it became this whole thing. And finally I just broke down. I was like, I need therapy. And it really just came from being a mom, being a volunteer in my mom life, as well as running a business and being a full-blown addict of the online world, doing this for 18 years, and also huge workaholic. I love what I do. So I was attached to my phone. It became too much, and I realized this is unhealthy, and I've been playing with this idea of being burnt out for so long and trying to put Band-Aids that I decided I'm just gonna completely first of all, what I did is step away, got therapy, and that helped significantly, and tried to figure out what's the core of why I'm so crazy. Crazy in the sense that I'm obsessed with my work. Created systems. My friend Evie Hyman, she is an amazing entrepreneur. She's always talking to me about systems. Finally, it sunk in, and I created the batching system. I've always been a fast worker, but with that, I think I created fast and then I created more with my system. In my therapy, I took a breath. I was like, now I can create a lot, but instead of always adding more, I'm like, and then use this other time to not be online. It was a really difficult part of my life that brought me to this realization. My hope, and this is something I wrote about in the book, is that y'all can learn from me because I would hate for anyone else to get that far into burnout, like legitimate burnout. I don't want anyone to experience that. If you are your own boss, you run your own thing, whether you're a digital marketer or like real estate, you will touch base with burnout one way or another. This system of batching has helped significantly, and I have not experienced any burnout since.
Oh, that's fantastic to hear. And I appreciate you sharing so openly about that. It's easy to get into that burnout phase, especially when you love what you do and you're passionate. I've always really admired your work ethic. And I feel like that's something we've always had in common. You care a lot about what you do. And so I can relate. That's probably why I poured through your book. So that's what it's all about. So I want to, based on that, one of the things I thought was really interesting is how you talk about how you've built your business around this 4-day work week. I'm a little jealous. I'm working towards that.
Everyone.
I would love that.
Yeah.
And you're doing without sacrificing revenue or growth.
I would even say I make more money now than I did before. Yeah.
Okay.
Honestly, I have a higher caliber clients because I've learned to set expectations clear. That's in the book. I've learned to set boundaries better. That's in the book. And just, I think, that the clients that I have, because I've set expectations, because of the system I put together, it almost takes like any client that you've ever had that you're like, like the pain in the ass client, the POA, they go away because humans love expectations being set. They want to know what to expect. And in real estate, I used to sell homes for a living and I won JD Power and Associate my first year as a salesperson. And that's because I truly believed in setting expectations. Let people know that it's not easy what you're about to go through, but you're here to help. So even making more money now than I did before, better caliber clients, I'm much happier.
But what changes did you have to make with either, your own self or your
Yeah.
business that set you up to be able to make that happen?
I'm not a naturally organized person. And you would know this if you saw my desk, right? For me, I assume ADHD all the way. I want to work on this. I have to have a lot of discipline, especially in the beginning. Even today, I was like, oh, I'm working on this thing. And then I see a tab that reminds me of, oh, no, I want to go work at back. Right. So I think the first step is yes, the system is there. But if you don't have the discipline to actually do the system, it's not going to work. Working out gets easier the more you do it. And that's exactly this. When I started doing the system, it was hard because I'm used to being distracted and multitasking. But once I gave myself the discipline to focus, and this is how I'm batching, this is how I'm working with clients, now it's easy. It's so easy that the hardest thing for me as a workaholic, kind of in the middle of when I started to today, I would constantly have anxiety or this feeling of like, why am I just sitting here with nothing? Why am I relaxing? Like, why am I taking this day off? But I don't to work. I could take a day off and fully unwind. Even now, I take more than one day off a week with my kids out of school and nothing has fallen apart. Everything still works. And it's part of that discipline of learning how to work within the system and making it work for you. Just like I said in the book, just because this is the way, I want you to make it your own because every one of us, we work a little differently.
And you mentioned batching, which I want to talk about because I think a lot of entrepreneurs and realtors hear the word batch. I talk about batching inside of our Get Social Smart Academy. It's this idea of working smarter, not harder. Let's talk about that. What are some of the
Mhm.
mistakes that you see people making when they're trying to batch content?
So many things. I want to start with something because you mentioned you did just talk about this, and I commented on one of your posts about you don't have to change your shirt. And it's simple things like that. I will tell you, if you go look at my batch videos, I literally wear the same shirt in every video because I literally sat there for an hour and shot 20 videos. I'm like, I don't need to change. Nobody cares what you're wearing, y'all. They
Yep.
care about the content. So, one, don't overcomplicate it with little things like that. Like, nobody cares. Two, talking about things that nobody cares about. I'm about to release a video talking about content buckets and what are they, but don't talk about, oh, I just got out of this meeting or here's the promotion, talk about things that help. And one of the examples I give in the video is that if you're a real estate agent, one of your buckets is going to be the community, right? And
Mhm.
so in that bucket, you could talk about community events, you could talk about local coffee shops, farmers markets, those all go in your bucket. And you can pour them out on batch day and be like, okay, I'm going to talk about this coffee shop. I'm going to talk about this restaurant. I'm going to talk about this event. And so I think we focus on me, and what we think we want to talk about. And we don't really think, what are the common questions that people are asking all the time? I see that in real estate a lot. People are trying to be flashy and do dances and all this stuff. At the end of the day, nobody cares. They don't. The algorithm loves it. Photographers and videographers love it. Other real estate agents love it. But when it comes to, I just sold my and I am currently in escrow buying another house. So I know this
Yeah.
process intimately. When I was looking for an agent to sell my house, yes, I wanted to see someone who was marketing the area, the communities they list in, not just the city, but like I lived in light farms. And then how do they represent the homes? And they don't need to be in the video to represent the home because me as a buyer, I'm thinking, that is a beautiful home. Wow, that is a community I could see myself in. And it allows us to visualize. And so I think sometimes we overcomplicate our content. And really, it's just about showcasing what we do best. So if you're a listing agent, showcase the home, showcase the community, but then also the easiest thing to batch, because that's not easy to batch, right? That's kind of if I have a listing, I need to go out and shoot all this content. But I can sit down and I can do videos that answer all the questions that a buyer might have because I'm a listing agent or a buyer's agent. So just thinking through like what is useful for my as a listing agent for my to market homes that my listing clients are going to enjoy that are also going to attract buyers. What is helpful in answering questions and less about being in front of the camera showing the house dancing. That's fun,
Yeah.
but
No.
I don't know. I feel like people overthink it. And so because of that, a lot of agents out there who are like, I don't have the money to hire a fancy videographer to do that, or I don't feel comfortable doing a little montage and whatever it is that's holding you back. I think it's because of that overthinking. So if you want to do those things, great, have fun, babe, that's cool. But if you are just an agent who's just trying to do the best you can out there, then don't overthink those things and really just try to be a resource for your ideal client.
I love that. People tend to overthink. I need to go out. I need to shoot all this footage. You could,
Yeah.
there's folks I know that will go out and batch film a bunch of stuff.
You should, if that's something you want to showcase. Do it all in
Yeah.
one day. I've done it. I just
Yeah.
got back from Dallas. I'm living in Colorado right now. I have 2 clients in Dallas. And I took 2 days and went out. I have a pool client. I went out and shot pools back to back, different pools. Took me 30 minutes per backyard. If I'm a real estate agent and I have the day off, part of the system, you plan ahead, right?
Yeah.
You know, oh, today's the day. I'm just going to go do this. No, plan.
Oh, goodness.
Okay, I have a listing coming up, or I want to represent buyers in this town. So I live in Aurora, Colorado. I might be the Southlands area of Aurora, Colorado. Then I would say next week, I'm going to take 2, 3 hours and I'm just going to go out to my favorite coffee shops. I'm going to go out to the Southlands Mall, shoot some B-roll, and maybe me standing in front of something talking. But the truth is, you just need a lot of B-roll because you could talk at home on camera anywhere and then just
Right.
throw the B-roll on. So yeah, if you are looking to do content like that, it's a lot easier to plan ahead than if you're like me and you go to a restaurant. I would never be a very good restaurant influencer because I get halfway through my food, I'm like, oh no, this would have been really pretty. It was good.
Well, and you make a good point about getting out and batching. I mean, I think a lot of realtors feel like I'm going to pick up my phone to show up. But if for anyone watching this on YouTube, yeah, you don't have to be like, and here's the pool. You're talking about B-roll, which is just quick clips. And like
Yep.
you said, you can come home, you can do a voiceover, you can add music.
Build
and-
your library.
Yeah, exactly. Build your library, which is huge. So I think what holds a lot of people back is people feel overwhelmed, right? People
Yeah.
feel overwhelmed with social media, content
Mhm.
creation. Where would you suggest someone start? Because I know that there's a lot of people who listen to this that maybe have followed me for a long time, but a lot of people have tell me, I know you talk about batching, Katie, and I've never actually done that. So I would love to
Start with batching.
like, how do you get someone to start batching? Do you have a tip or a thought in terms of
Read my book, one.
Yeah.
And
we're going to link that below.
I would say to get started with anything, plan ahead.
Yeah.
Like I said, don't just be like, I'm going to do it right now. Like, oh, yeah, you just get off listening to the podcast. Oh, I'm motivated now. Okay, baby steps. This podcast, and you're like, oh, I love this. What can I do right now? The very first thing I want you to do is either go to your favorite AI or go get a notebook or a Google Doc. And I want you to write out every simple question that you have been asked, that people ask about your business, about the town. And then the second thing I want you to write down is what areas do you want to represent? Actual geographical areas. Under that category, what are the restaurants, event? You could look up event calendars online, coffee shops, parks, schools. You have to be careful talking about schools, but you could still represent it like this is the school. You don't have to give an opinion, right? You can say award winning if that's in fact true, but write it all down. The first thing you can do right away, write down all the ideas. You will be so surprised how fast you could come up with content ideas by just doing that alone. Because I think a lot of people feel overwhelmed because they're just like, block. What do I do?
Yeah.
Start with the questions people ask you. 2, start with where do you want to be? Or do you have a listing right now? What's around that listing? The home, we're representing the home, the features in the home, the lifestyle around the home, so the community, and then the city around the home. So you expand from that one spot. Start with that. And then you have a list of videos you can shoot. And then you go out and do your B-roll based off of that, or you sit down in front of your camera and just start shooting. Bam, bam. If you're using AI, plug those into AI and say, give me more ideas. You'll have so much content ideas that you can then go off and batch.
And batching, it can be you go out and about, but it could also be for a lot of my batch days, I'm just at home. I'm in my home office. I've got my phone propped up, and agents we work with, it's the same thing. And I find too, like you said, you've got to put it on your calendar. I've been batching for years. And typically what I do is I look ahead and go, okay, well, what day is it going to be this coming month? Get on the calendar. If it's not on my calendar, it's not going to happen, right? You got to plan it.
Exactly. Like if you saw my calendar right now, there are big red blocks. I will say it's in red on my calendar. It'll say my client's name. And that means that day belongs to my client. That is their batching day. And it's usually 1 to 2 days, depending on how much video I have to edit. I'm a pretty fast editor myself. Most people, if you're batching, like I just went to Dallas, I shot 30 videos for one client. I'm not editing 30 videos in a day. So then I would create different days. But like you said, if it's not on the calendar, I'm not going to do it. Like
Yeah.
I'd rather go watch Netflix than do something if it's not on my calendar.
For sure. So you talked a little bit about AI, and I know this is near and dear to your heart. We both teach AI. We both have different feelings about it. AI is changing the way we create content. How do you see AI fitting into a sustainable batching flow while still showing up as authentic and personal?
Yeah, and that's the key, especially in real estate. I am my brand in my business. So AI is an administrative tool for me. It is not a replacement. I don't use it to create anything but ideas. I work fast. I work faster with an administrative assistant, and that's what AI is for me. I use it for research on data and stuff like that. I'm going to give you guys a little tip because this is why AI is magical for me is I will go out and research what's working out there in the world that really high producing influencers, not in the real estate industry, but people who are out there doing influence work, coaching, consulting that are doing really well on Instagram. I want to do better on Instagram, but I want to do a lot more video reels. You're always hearing things about the hook. And if you go to Chat GPT or Claude and be like, write me some hooks, they're generic, they're boring, and people can tell. But I like to go research actual formats for how people shoot their video. And there's one that I recently learned that this lady coined. I can't remember her name, but she coined the Missy Elliott. I can't remember the lyrics, but it's like you talk it back and reverse it. So the idea is you do the thing in reverse. Your hook is the answer, and then you explain it all. I'll go to Claude, a script from this video where there's ladies explaining how she does her videos. You create a skill for me on this format. Then I'll go in and say, I'll take from my bucket, my list of things I'm talking about. Right now, I'm doing a Marketing 101 series. We're talking about this topic of buckets. Now, I want you to use the Missy Elliott skill to write the bucket. I have another skill. It's called the coffee shop skill. And it's literally if I were sitting across the table from a friend at a coffee shop and they were asking me about how to do social media, how would I answer their questions? And I trained Claude to create a format for it so that I can use that for my scripts. So depending on who I'm talking to or what the topic is, I get to choose the format, but it speeds up my scripts.
And taking something and then like infusing it with your brand, making it your own.
But it's still you. Don't just go and say, hey, write me a script about the top 5 places to eat in Aurora, Colorado. That nobody cares. Google that, or if I can go to ChatGPT, then don't make it a video. Do something that you can uniquely talk about. I am a coffee addict. Every time my husband and I travel with our kids, we do a coffee video. I have nowhere to post it, but my daughter loves doing videos like she's an influencer. If there are places you're already familiar with, if you're already talking about these things, if your clients are already asking you those things, they want your perspective. They don't want ChatGPT's perspective. So you can use these AI tools as admin tools, but don't allow it to take your authentic opinions, voice, and experience.
Yeah. We want to hear from you.
Exactly.
We want to hear you. We want to see flaws and all.
I think that's what makes you do better online,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Like if you sound like everyone else, you attract nobody.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. And we were just doing a training this week about video. And I think one of the big things, I'm sure you're seeing this too, is just really, we hear this idea of like lean into your niche, but I think it's even more important than ever before. Like, really be specific. I'm in the San Francisco Bay Area. A realtor, I wouldn't be like, oh, top 5 places in the San Francisco Bay Area. I wouldn't even hit my city. I'd probably get really neat specific neighborhoods. And I would think about the favorite coffee shop because I love coffee too. A friend in town, where would I go for coffee? Like, more specific. I'm just curious how you think about that. Like,
I totally agree. I've taught personal branding and niching for so long because content marketing ties into that.
Yeah.
And the number one story I tell people is if you say for everyone, who's your ideal client? Everyone looking to buy a house. Here's the quick story. I went to a conference once and this lady came up to me. She was selling lotion or something like skincare for lotion. And she's like, if you know anyone, and I was like, so who's your ideal client? She goes, anyone with skin. I'm like, oh, like everybody? Are you selling to everybody? And then I said, well, tell me a little bit about what is your favorite product you have right now? And she said that they just came out with the baby line for newborns. It's very sensitive skin friendly. I go, oh, I have a friend who just had a baby. Tell me more about that. This is actually a psychological phenomena that if you say everyone, nobody can, the brain cannot function in the sense of who can I refer to? Who can I connect with you? But if you say this specific person, I work with people who are moving from another state and are uncomfortable or unfamiliar, but they have to move and they want to know more about they trust me. And I make sure that they're taken care of, not only from the perspective of buying their home, but making sure all their needs in terms of, let me help you find the right movers. Let me help you find the painter you're going to need. That's my niche, is helping people relocate. You're going to attract so many more people than if you say, who's buying a house? Yeah.
That's so true. Nobody wants to work with a generalist.
A lot of newbies struggle with. I'm just desperate for business. Just because you say, I specialize in this and this is my ideal client, does not mean you're turning business away. I
Very
still
true.
work. I have a pool builder, I have a contractor who does kitchens, and I have a midwife as my clients right now. So we could do it all.
Absolutely.
You have to market yourself specifically.
Absolutely. Our niche is the real estate industry, and a lot of realtors watch this. And I talk to a lot of realtors who feel like they'll say, "Oh, Katie, this is like a full-time job." So, what would a no burnout content creation system look like specifically for a busy real estate professional who a
Great
full-time job?
question. Right. Social media marketing is a full-time. This is why I own a social media marketing company. This is what I do for a living. But I understand not everyone is in a position to hire someone like me. My clients, they pay me something between 2,500 and $4,000 a month. So a lot of people, that's just not feasible. And there is a way to do it. But the first thing you have to do is edit out things you don't need. You don't need to be everywhere. What platform do you want to focus on? Me, I love Instagram. This is my focus. I'm on Instagram and Facebook probably the most. I'm an old millennial. Doesn't mean I don't have content going out on LinkedIn and TikTok, YouTube. I do. Those are not my focus. And I have tools like repurpose.io, which will automatically take videos I post here and put them here. And that's what all the big influencers are doing. So you don't have to be everywhere in terms of your focus. So step one, focus. What is your platform? Let's say it's Instagram. Great. Then think about how many times a month do you need to post? Let's say you want to post 3 times a week, 4 times a week, whatever. That's 4 weeks. 3 times 4 is what? 12?
Yes.
All you have to do is 12 posts. Let's say you want to do 1 reel a week. I would recommend more, but we're doing bare minimum right now. That's 4 reels. All you have to do is batch 4 reels. You can't sit down and batch 4 reels. Do you see what I'm saying? This is the why people get overwhelmed, is because they like, I have to do my social media and I have to post so much, but they're not actually looking at the number. You don't have to post. Most of my clients are posting 3 to 4 times a month. Let's pretend. I sit down and I'm like, okay, that's 12. 12 posts. Let's say one of them is going to be a carousel. We're doing Instagram, one of each week. One of them's going to be a video, and the other one I will either rotate or maybe I'll do a static post, whatever. And so that's it. I only need to do, let's say, 5 reels, 5 of these. That's it. And if you think in that respect, it becomes easy. Then you're like, wow, I can sit down and do that in a day. Yeah. For me, though, I post an unnecessary amount. But just because I have a system that allows me all this freedom. So when I sit down to batch video, I will sit down and batch 20 videos in like an hour because I've written all the scripts and stuff. And I'm just like, bam, not going to change my shirt. Going to waste time. Bam, bam, bam. And then I just go through and edit on my phone on CapCut when I'm drinking my coffee in the morning, schedule it out. And guess what? I have 2 months worth of videos going out now and I don't have to do anything else. So it's a matter of backtracking to focus on the platform, focus on how many posts do I need. That doesn't mean you can't fill in the blanks. If you have a listing that comes up or something, you're like, oh, I should share this, fill in the blanks, so you have a consistent amount of content going out. Anyone can do this with 1 to 2 days a month. If you block it off, I promise anyone can do this. I can do that.
Yeah, it's not like you said, not being all things to all people.
Yeah.
And I love what you said about breaking the numbers down because it is easy to get overwhelmed. And I think a lot of folks in real estate who are listening do this with other areas of their business. They might think, okay, how many calls am I going to make today? How many
Yes.
doors am I going to knock on? How many thank you cards am
Yes.
I going to write? So real estate is a pretty systemized,
Numbers
numbered
business.
business in a lot
Mhm.
of ways. So for
Yep.
anyone listening to this, think about your content, looking ahead to the next month or two and going, okay, let's break this down. All right, I could do one a week. Maybe later on I'll do more, but breaking
Right. If
that
you
down.
just commit to one video a week, but you're not going to listen, I'm not going to let you get away with, I'm just going to shoot one video a week. That's not
Yeah.
what we're talking
No,
about.
no, no. We're batching
One
bears.
video a week, batch 4 videos. That is so easy. Literally, if I could do 20 in 2 hours, you could do 4 in 2 hours. Okay. It's so easy once you learn how easy it is. It's just the apprehension of the unknown that
Yeah.
scares people. But once you use the system, and I lay it all out in the book, it's all in there. They start small. If you want to just do once a week, do once a week. Obviously, we're batching. So a month's worth is
Backwards.
4. And then as you're exercising that muscle, as you get used to that system, you're going to find that it's actually quite easy just to add more.
Yeah, absolutely. I read through your book in probably a few hours. And I think and I'm someone who teaches it and I have lived and breathed it for a long time. But I also know that for anybody who is overwhelmed or newer, or maybe someone like myself who's been doing it a while, totally helpful. So we'll make sure to link that below so you guys can.
Yeah, thank
Take
you.
that.
Really quick, I want to say, because I know there are a lot of agents, and if you're a listing agent, my recommendation, some of my real estate clients have come to me to do this, is I will batch a listing. So you don't know how long you're going to have the listing, but oftentimes you're going to have it at least 30 days. I will go in and I shoot all the video I need, all the social video photos. They will have professional photos. And if they hire an additional videographer, then I get all that stuff and I will create in one sitting all the content for that month. So this
Mm.
listing now has a full content piece. The benefit is number one, all your content's done for the month. They'll market this home. Number two, it is a selling point when you are in a listing meeting trying to get the listing. Say, hey, this is something I offer. Here is how we do it. Here's some samples of how it's been done so that it's not sporadic. Because I had an agent I had to fire because I did all the marketing. They did nothing except the first day, like listing. Like, oh, new house. And I'm like, it can't stop there. And this is how you can win more listings is showing this is how I market your home and the community and all this stuff. So that's something I do for my clients, but it's something that you could very easily do for yourself as a batch asset.
Yeah. I mean, there's so many different pieces of it, the videos and maybe carousels or even.
A lot repurpose the
Films.
same idea into like
Yeah.
different things.
So my last question is if you could leave our audience with one juicy, practical takeaway that they could implement this week, what would it be?
Okay. I would say understand your buckets, right? We've kind of talked about, and if you want to learn more about buckets, I have the whole series Marketing 101 on my Instagram, Stellar 24/7. The buckets video I'm hoping will go out today, which is our recording day. So the buckets is the categories, right? There's community, there's listing, there's expertise, like the 101s of real estate. And you go through all that. So fill the buckets and then set something on your calendar, stay on the day. And then don't chase daily, right? Consistency and frequency is not the same thing. If you can sit down and batch a whole bunch of stuff, you are more likely to be consistent. And your frequency is what you decide when you batch. And the other thing is like everything is going to happen. You're going to get sick or you're going to want to go on vacation or you're going to get too busy because the real estate market's going to take off because all the interest rates are going to drop, right? It's like cyclical. It will happen. I promise someday. But excuse my French, shit happens. And you want to make sure that if you've batched and you've scheduled stuff out and it's done, or you just have a library of stuff you can pull from and just get it done, none of that matters. You can be sick and not worry about it. You could be on vacation and know that you still have those reels going out. You could be so busy and still be posting great stuff because it's done. That's been the biggest blessing for me because I am a mom and I do get sick sometimes. And my kids, I've got to deal with them. Things happen and I know stuff's still going out. I'm still being consistent. And my clients are all taken care of for the same reason.
Yeah. I just feel like you're giving your future self this by taking
gift.
time now. Well, you never know what can happen a week or 2 weeks, a month down. And
Right. And
you and I both have those experiences where it's
for
like,
sure. My daughter, we had to cancel. We were scheduled to do this podcast. My daughter was in the hospital. She's fine, y'all. Stuff happens. And I didn't have to worry about my clients that whole week. It was dealt with. Everything's done. So it is the gift. And one thing I will say is the hardest part is starting. So you have to have the discipline, just like you start working out. But after that, It's so easy once you figure it out. It gets easier because it becomes part of your business system. Once a month or twice a month, knock it out.
Yeah, absolutely. That's what it's all about is those systems. Kelly, this has been awesome. I know we could probably chat for another 2 hours about all this stuff, but if people want to connect with you, maybe they want to work with you or they want to learn with you or they want to follow you on social media, what would be maybe a couple places that people can connect with you or any resources that you
I'm everywhere at Stellar 24/7. That's STELLAR 247. Most of my videos are going out on my Instagram. So if you want to see all of my reels and my 101 series and all the other stuff I talk about. And then I also have another Instagram account that's targeted towards this book. I have more books down the line. And Mirabella on Instagram. This is the book. Change the cover. This was a quick AI cover I put together. My friend was coaching me and the book was done, but I was dragging my feet. So I was like, I don't have time to make the cover look good. She's like, Kelly, just do it. Just get it out. So I just went in. But I have redone the cover since then because this is a little floppy. But the No Burnout Batching System, I did write the book. Okay? Just because I use AI, I built my heart and soul into this book. It is a compilation of my experiences over the past 18 years. And so I hope you enjoy it. But yeah, everywhere at Stellar 24/7, including stellar247.com, which is my website.
awesome. Well, we will link all of that below wherever you are listening. If you're watching on YouTube or on the podcast or everywhere else, we will be blasting it everywhere for sure. And definitely recommend the book. Definitely check that out. I'm excited. I have the first edition with that cover, so I'll have to get the next edition when you put out a new cover.
Oh, I already did put out a new cover.
Ah,
I'll probably update the book. It was just released in February, but chances are I'll update it. I always like to give more. I'm one of those people, I just want to overgive. And then one other thing that I promised Katie that I would mention is after we did this interview, I was going to decide what am I going to give away for free? I think what I'll do is I'll create a guide for you guys that's specific to batching for real estate agents, kind of like a quick start guide with the checklist. So I will create that, send it over to Katie, and you can do with it as you will if you want to put it in your academy or what have you. So you guys can check that out just to make your lives a little easier if you maybe don't want to spend the money to buy the books.
oh, that's very kind of you. Very generous. I love that. I don't mean to give you more homework, but thank you for doing that. for
It's easy. I have so many guides. I just need to customize it.
That's awesome. That's fantastic. Thank you again for being with us. This has been amazing. I love chatting with you. It's all about being intentional, having a system, having a plan, not working a million hours a week. You can have a life and a business.
Please have a life. You'll be much happier. You don't want the burnout. Trust me.
And for everyone watching, thank you for being here today. If you enjoyed this, subscribe, leave us a review, like and comment. And if you want to work with us, go to katielam.com/academy. We'd love to have you part of our Get Social Smart Academy community. We do trainings each week. Kelly's been one of our guest trainers, which has been awesome. We have resources and calendars and templates and good stuff. So check that out. And we will see you on the next show. Get social smart. We'll see you soon. Bye for now.